Bring in Kirsten Kukowski. She is the National Press Secretary for the Republican National Committee, and she joins us live from Washington. Kirsten, good to see you, and good to talk to you. I've got in my hands, I've got a bit of the President's State of the Union address tonight. I want to read a portion of it with you and see if there's some room here where the two parties can agree. Today, after 4 years of economic growth, corporate profits and stock prices have rarely been higher, and those at the top have never done better, but average wages have barely budged. Inequality has deepened. You know that the President is going to be speaking a lot about inequality and assistance to the middle class. Is the Republican Party willing to join the President in moving forward a middle class agenda in 2014?
Of course, and first of all, thanks for having me on. And yes, we've actually heard a lot about this inequality over the last several weeks. We know that the President's going to talk about it. We've actually heard him give a very similar speech on inequality time and time again. So I don't think it's anything new. I think what we'll be interested to see is what exactly comes out of it after the speech is done. Is it more than just words like we've heard so many times before that? And, you know, I think that, yes, Republicans are definitely at the table wanting to help middle-class families, which is why there's a lot of legislation that's actually been stalled in the Senate that the House Republicans have passed, a lot of it bipartisan. And so I think, it'd be really interesting to hear from the President if we can start having him lead and get the Senate Democrats to start moving on some of that legislation that's already on the table.
Americans are telling us they want to hear more about jobs and ideas for improving the economy. Republicans get an opportunity, of course, to respond to the President tonight. Will we hear Republican ideas for job growth or just a critique of what the President has had to say?
No, I think that there's plenty of ideas for job growth, and I think a lot of it, unfortunately, does have to do with what the President has put in place. A lot of it has to do with government regulation that we need to get rid of it. A lot of it has to do with Obamacare and getting our health care system back on track. But I think that there's been 100 bills that have actually been signed into, or that have been passed out of the House of Representatives, that I think that if we were to take a look at some of those pieces of legislation and it were to move past the Senate Democrats and into the President, I think that we'd see a lot of signs of progress.
Hey, Kirsten, what is the message? We keep hearing that this is a year for rebranding for Republicans, and look, you're intimately involved in that rebranding effort, I'm sure. What's the pitch to groups that don't traditionally vote for Republicans?
Well, I think it's opportunity for all. I think it's not having the government in our way, whether it be small businesses, whether it be families. So I think you're going to be seeing a lot more from our party, whether it be on in Congress, whether it be from the Republican National Committee. We actually just had a meeting last week where we were starting to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing out in the field as we work toward some of these political and election wins in 2014 and what that means for the brand of the Republican Party.
Kirsten Kukowski, she is the National Press Secretary for the Republican National Committee, joining us from Washington. Kirsten, good to see you. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.